Hello YouTube, my name is SGG Videos, and today we'll be doing the first of hopefully a new series where I'll be doing Let's Talk type videos, where I'll talk about a topic, introduce what it is, the upsides and downsides of it, and then my personal opinion and what I've learned through researching the topic. So I thought we'd start off with year-round schooling as our first episode, and please do leave me a comment down below on what you'd like for me to do in my next video. And just as a general note, these videos will take longer to upload and make than my other videos, just because I'll have to spend a bit of time researching the topic just so I get a full understanding rather than going in completely blind. So, as I said, we'll be starting with year-round schooling. And first, I'll introduce what year-round schooling is. So, many people think that year-round schooling is, as said in the actual name of it, school all around the year, but that's not exactly what it is. Year-round schooling is just when you take summer break and you spread it out more evenly into more evenly spread breaks. For example, I have an example of a year-round schooling system. You'll have 9 weeks on for school, then you'll have a 3-week break. You'll have 9 weeks on again, and then a 5-week break around Christmas time is how my system has been designed. You'll have 9 weeks on, then you'll have 3 weeks of break. And then you'll have 9 weeks on and 5 weeks of break, for summer. So that's just an example system. You'll have the same number of school days. You'll still have weekends. School hours will be the same. It's just spreading the breaks out more evenly. So first, I'll start why people like and would approve of year-round schooling. One of the biggest reasons is something known as the summer slide. And the summer slide is basically when you have people and kids, especially when they learn something the year before, let's say in 4th grade, right? And then they move into 5th grade, but they have a 2-month break in between, so they forget, about a month of their learning, which then means in 5th grade, the teacher has to spend about 2 and 3 weeks, on average 2 to 3 weeks, more towards 3 weeks, relearning the subjects that have already been taught last year. And what this does is it reduces how far a teacher can get within any given school year, because they already have to spend time reviewing topics that they already went over. And this is actually it has a whole plethora of negative effects to the education system, because it's wasting quite a bit of school time. As I said, about 3 weeks of school time that could be used learning. And some people say that year-round schooling will reduce this, not completely eliminate it. Some people think it will eliminate it, but there's no doubt in anyone's mind that it will reduce the amount of education lost through the passing of years. Another way that people would approve of summer year-round schooling is because it reduces the amount of stress that people will get. And I personally agree with this, but the opposite side of this, people who disapprove of summer schooling, have their separate idea about this. What it means, essentially, is that you'll have 9 weeks of school, right? You'll have 9 weeks of stress. We'll just say every week you get a certain amount of stress. So you'll have 9 weeks of stress, whether it be a lot of stress or a little bit, and then you'll have 3 weeks to burn it off. Then you'll have 9 weeks on and 5 weeks to burn it off. And while this is just an example system, it would make very little sense to have a teacher assign a test 3 weeks ahead of time, when in those 3 weeks the student will be doing nothing. So teachers wouldn't be assigning major assessments. You wouldn't really be stressed out during that amount of time. I'll be getting more into this as well on the other side of this, the other opinion. Another thing about it is that many people get bored over the summer break, and the summer break has become something obsolete. The summer break was designed around the idea of people needing to help their parents farm in the field, because that's when the crops were ready. And it was really based around the agricultural revolution, because now you have to have your education system and your economic system completely surrounding a single cycle of agriculture. When that changed, the education system still revolves around the agricultural cycle, which has become obsolete and something of the past, which has led to more issues like higher stress and the summer slide. And it really doesn't help anyone just have this massive break in the middle. As I said, it reduces stress. It helps people connect more to the school. If you're spending 18 weeks, let's say, with your teacher every single day, as opposed to having 9 weeks on and then a few weeks of break, this is just an assumption. But personally, for me, I think I would probably like my teachers more, because teaching can get tiresome, not only for the student, but for the teacher as well. And to be able to have your breaks evenly spread out is beneficial as I see it. And while I can't speak for teachers themselves, if you disagree with me and you are a teacher, this is just my personal opinion. I think that if I was a teacher, I would rather have my breaks spread out rather than maybe starting to get something of a disliking towards my students, and then just having a giant break. I think I'd rather have it more spread out. So personally, a teacher could reduce their own stress as well, because stress does not only affect students. Now onto the other side of the case, which is that it's not beneficial, it's bad. And one of the biggest points that might seem minor but is actually very large is summer economy. The summer economy is several $billion with things like summer camps and summer schools and other summer programs. These programs tend to have been evolved over hundreds and years and decades of hard trial and error to try and get to the point where it is as effective as it is, and suddenly just pulling the rug out from under their feet would be detrimental to the economy, because during summer, that's when a lot of people make their money for college, or a lot of people make their money if they want to save up for a goal and things like that. It's really beneficial economically towards minors, while educationally it might not be as much. Another reason is some people argue that it reduces stress a little better, because you'll have just one large break where you can do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about school at all, because if you have a 5-week break in between two chunks of school, you might be worrying, I'm not doing, my grades is kind of slipping in this area, and you might actually not spend as much time for yourself as predicted. And you had just summer is just a giant free period of time where you can do basically whatever you want, and there's complete freedom pretty much. And the school has almost no control on what you do, which is beneficial, because you don't have to, you can live the life that the way you want it for 2 months, and you can do whatever you want and hang out with people however you want. So there's summer schools, it's a massive break time, and it will also, another argument is that it will wear down the building over time, because having a summer break allows people to come in and fix it, and it allows administrators to change the curriculum, change the school however they'd like, and gives them 2 months to really remodel the school. If in the year before let's say a bunch of students were complaining about a single teacher, that administrator could go talk to the teacher, maybe replace the teacher, or maybe the curriculum wasn't working out very well. The teachers can work together over this long amount of time. And the teachers won't always be working, because over these 5 and 3 week breaks in summer schooling, they might have to spend 2 or so weeks of those just kind of working on remodeling the school and righting the wrongs. But that only allows them 1 to 3 weeks of break, which will increase the stress. So a lot of this actually revolves around stress, and a lot of it is changing on how you structure and how you actually use it. So those are kind of the main points, and I'll explain what I learned. So most kids, from what I know and from what I've talked to, just say no, year-round schooling sounds terrible, but this is because they mainly think it's actually year-round. But researching this, I started disapproving of year-round schooling. But researching this topic, I've actually gained a liking towards the system quite a bit. Now, there has to be a lot of time and effort spent into modeling the year-round schooling system before they actually put it into place, because the summer economy would be detrimental, and there needs to be a lot of remodeling in terms of how they're going to deal with stress and how they're going to deal with fixing issues in the school. But other than that, I see it as a very effective system, because the educational gain would be incredibly big. Because think about it, 3 weeks might not be that big, but 3 weeks over 12 grades, that's almost a year of learning. So basically, remodeling the school year structure could grant you an extra year of education without changing the time that you actually get educated at all. So I think that's definitely something to think about. Please make sure to leave a like on the video if you're enjoying it. If you want to see more of this content, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you get an email when I upload. And please do indeed leave a comment on what you think about this topic, if you have any points you'd like to bring up, and if there's anything else you'd like to see for the next video.